In this video, we are going to divide decimal numbers. There is the objective. So, step number 1, divide like normal. We're going to completely ignore the decimal point, and we're going to divide 616 by 7. So, as usual when dividing, we will find our secret to success, and then we will divide. So I get an answer of 88. But we're not finished. All we have to do is lift the decimal point up. We'll just move it straight up. So the answer should be 8 and 8/10. That makes sense because if we look at just the whole number, 61 divided by 7 would not be 88. 88 would be larger than 61. Or if we want to round it, we'll just call it 62. I don't care. Or if we want to even estimate it to say 63. So 63 divided by 7 would be 9. So we need an answer that's going to be close to 9. And 88 wouldn't do it. But 8 and 8/10? Oh, now that's reasonable. So that decimal point is very important. Alright, so here we have one. We can see that it does have a decimal, but we don't care. We're going to divide like normal. So 78 divided by 5. We have our secret to success. We will go ahead. This time you can see I'm using the box method. And I get a remainder of 3. Unfortunately, you can't use remainders with decimal answers. So, what do we do? We moved up the decimal, sure. Well, I wanted to remind you, when we ordered and compared decimal numbers, and we stack them, we line up the decimal, and then we fill in with 0. Now, we didn't really have a problem with that at the time, because really we're just giving it 0 hundredths anyway. So how did we change the number by giving it 0 hundredths? We didn't change it at all. So by adding zeros to our decimal numbers, kind of helps us with some problems. But more importantly, we're not changing the value of it whatsoever. So we can see that those two are equal. So let's come back over. And let's add a 0 to our decimal number. So instead of 7 and 8/10, let's do 7 and 80 hundredths. We've only added no hundredths to the problem, so we haven't changed it. But what we have done is given ourselves a chance to continue dividing without having a remainder. So you can see 30 divided by 5 is going to be 6, and the answer stops. I mean, we get a remainder of 0, goes in there evenly. So 1 and 56 hundredths would be our answer. Let's see, with a problem like this. Now, I know that 6 does not go into 45 evenly. So normally there'd be a remainder. So how are we going to do this since this is dividing decimals? Alright, well, we need our secret to success. Go ahead and divide. We get a remainder of 3. But we can't get a remainder of 3. We're dividing with decimals. We don't have remainders. So I can't just tack on a 0, because then it becomes 450. 45 is a whole number. How nice it would be to have $45 in our pocket and imagine that we're adding a 0 to it and somehow it changes to $450. That doesn't work. Not unless we add a decimal point. So we need that decimal point. Now we can add 0/10 to 45. We've literally added nothing to 45. Okay? Now we can continue that problem. We can bring down the 0, continue dividing. But let's not forget, we have to bring up that decimal point. Because 6 goes into 45 7 times. Not 75 times.